class we are going to start from topic acceleration, and in this class students we will also discuss a new topic which is equation of motion. Then let us begin with the topic acceleration. Students, as we all know that acceleration means it is a part of our daily life, and acceleration is connected to in our life, in your bike, in your scooter, in your motorcycle, and the name accelerator is here. You all know about the accelerator. Accelerator is in your bike. Whenever you accelerate your bike, when you turn your accelerator, then you find that your bike starts to move forward, and when you turn it in opposite direction, you find that the bike starts to slow down. Then the accelerator is the word connected to the acceleration, and we are going to start the topic acceleration. Students, here acceleration means change in velocity. Whenever the word acceleration comes, always remember that there will be a change in velocity. Whenever a body changes its velocity, either that is increasing or decreasing, then you will say that the body is in acceleration. Then you will write that acceleration is changing velocity with time. And the symbol used to represent the acceleration is A, and you write it rate of change of velocity. Rate of change of velocity means whenever velocity is changing with respect to the time, you will say that the body is in acceleration. Students, the acceleration can be defined as mathematically. Suppose the body started with a velocity u. U means initial velocity. Suppose that the body started with a velocity u. U means initial velocity, and it ends with a velocity v, and v is called final velocity. Suppose the time taken by the body, suppose the body is a car, and body started with velocity u, and after time interval t, it attains a velocity v. Body started with u, and after time interval t, it attains a velocity v. Then you will say that the body is in acceleration, and the acceleration means change in velocity or rate of change of velocity, and you will write the formula acceleration is equal to change in velocity upon time taken. And you all know how you can find the change. To find the change, you always subtract final from initial, or initial from the final. And you will write acceleration is equal to v minus u by t, where v minus u is the change in velocity and t is the time taken. And this will explain the acceleration means change in velocity, and you will write it rate of change of velocity, and the formula is v minus u by t, where v is the final velocity, u is the initial velocity, and t is the time taken. Now we are going to discuss the unit of acceleration. What is the unit of velocity? Velocity is meter per second. And what is the unit of time? Second. You will write the unit of acceleration meter per second is square. The unit of acceleration is meter per second square. You can also write it meter second to the power minus 2. Students, as we discussed that acceleration is v minus u by t, and at the place of v minus u is the change in velocity, we will use the symbol delta v by t. Delta v here, delta denotes the change. Instead, suppose for example, a body started with velocity 10 meter per second and attains a velocity of 60 meter per second. Then what will be the change in velocity? You will write it 60 minus 10, and which is equal to the 50 meter per second. Then the change can be calculated by subtracting initial from the final velocity. Here the unit of velocity acceleration is meter per second square. Now the question comes that acceleration is a vector or a scalar. Acceleration is a vector or a scalar. Since velocity is a vector quantity, then acceleration will also be a vector. And what we have studied, we discussed that acceleration means change in velocity, and change in velocity, you will write it change in velocity upon time, and the unit is meter per second square. It is a vector quantity. Students, as the question arises here that there may be increase in velocity may be increases and velocity may be decreases also. Whenever there is increase in velocity, you will call that acceleration, and whenever the velocity is decreasing, you will call it retardation. Means acceleration and retardation both are the same thing, but when body is increasing its velocity, then you will write it acceleration, and when the body is decreasing its velocity, you will write it retardation. For example, suppose a bus is speed up. Suppose a bus is speeding or is increasing its speed, then you will say that bus is in acceleration. But whenever the driver applies the brake, then the speed of bus will get down. You will say that bus is in retardation. Then acceleration can be defined as the two names, acceleration and retardation. Increasing velocity is called acceleration and decreasing velocity is called retardation. Now in our next discussion, we are going to talk about the equation of motion. We will discuss equation of motion. Students, whenever a body moves, a body starts to run, a body starts to go away, then always there is a need to calculate, there is a need to find out what is the position of the body. After 2 seconds, what will be the position of body, what will be the velocity of the body. After 100 seconds, what will be the position of the body, what will be the velocity of the body. Then in such cases, you can find the position of a body, velocity of a body, acceleration of a body, anything about the body by using the equation of motion. Students, suppose that body is a car, it started with velocity u. Suppose the body started with velocity u, and after traveling a distance of s, its speed becomes v. After traveling a distance of s, its speed becomes v. Suppose the time taken in this duration is t. Suppose t is the time taken during this journey. Then you will use here three equations of motion. Number one is v is equal to u plus at. Number one is v is equal to u plus at. Number two is s is equal to ut plus half at square. Number three is v square is equal to u square plus 2a. These are the three equations which we are going to use. Here the meaning of symbols are v is the final velocity, u is the initial velocity, t is the time taken, and a is the acceleration. We all have discussed about these terms, these letters in our previous topic. Again, s is the displacement, u is the initial velocity, t is the time taken, a is the acceleration, again t is the time taken. Here v is the final velocity, u is the initial velocity, a is the acceleration, and s is the displacement. Then students, by using these equations, you can calculate the position of a body, velocity of a body, and the journey covered by the body in any way. Students, we have an example. By using this example, we can understand the use of equation of motion. The question is, a bus starting from rest covers a journey a distance of 200 meters. Covers a distance of 200 meters in 10 seconds. Find. Number one is acceleration and number two is the final velocity. Then students, first of all, we will write the given values. Here, a bus is starting from rest. A bus is starting from rest means initial velocity. Since bus is starting from the rest, then its initial velocity will be 0. The distance covered is 200 meters and the time taken is t is the 10 seconds. Now first we are going to calculate the acceleration. To calculate the acceleration, you can write the formula s is equal to ut plus half at square. S is equal to ut plus half at square, where s is the 200 meters. You can see here d for distance, for s is also displacement. This is 200 meters. U means initial velocity is 0 multiplied by t plus half a is unknown and t square. T is the time taken and square of 10. 200 is equal to half a and square of 10 is 100, which is equal to the 50a. And now we will get the answer. A is equal to 54 200, 4 meters per second. This is the acceleration. You can see, students, by using this equation 2, I explained you 3 equations. This is equation number 2, and by using this equation we have calculated acceleration. Now again we are going to calculate the value of final velocity. To calculate final velocity, you can use the first equation. V is equal to u plus at, where v is the final velocity which we have to calculate. U is the initial velocity given 0 plus a is the acceleration, that is 4, and t is the time taken. Time taken is 10. What is the answer? V is equal to 40 meters per second. That's right, we have calculated the final velocity. Then students, in the chapter motion, we will discuss equation of motion and also we will discuss the methods to derive these equations. We will derive these 3 equations in our next video. Then thank you for watching this video and thank you for your cooperation. Thank you, students.